Imagine a world where half the jobs people do every day are meaningless. In Bullshit Jobs, David Graeber explores why so many are trapped in roles they know don't need to exist. Bullshit Jobs, a Theory by David Graeber is a provocative exploration of modern employment, where Graeber, an anthropologist and social critic, argues that a significant portion of jobs in contemporary capitalism are essentially pointless, what he terms bullshit jobs. Published in 2018, the book expands on an essay Graeber wrote in 2013, which went viral and struck a chord with many people who felt their work lacked purpose or value. The book not only examines why these jobs exist, but also explores the psychological, social, and economic impacts of such jobs on individuals and society as a whole. Graeber defines bullshit jobs as forms of employment that are so utterly pointless, unnecessary, or pernicious that even the employee cannot justify their existence. These are jobs that do not produce anything of value or are created for reasons that do not benefit society. According to Graeber, if these jobs were to vanish tomorrow, it would make no difference or even have a positive impact on society. Graeber categorizes bullshit jobs into several types, including flunkies, which are jobs that exist to make others look more important, such as doormen or administrative assistants who manage non-essential tasks. Goons, which are jobs that exist only because others have them, like lobbyists or corporate lawyers. Duct tapers, which are employees who fix problems that should not exist in the first place. Box tickers, who are people who fill out forms or create reports that little to no people read. And taskmasters, who are middle managers whose only function is to oversee people who do not need supervision. Graeber provides numerous anecdotal examples from people who wrote to him after his initial essay. One person describes working as a subcontractor to a subcontractor in a large organization where their job consisted of writing reports that were never read. Another example includes an employee whose entire job was to coordinate meetings that were never necessary. Graeber argues that bullshit jobs have profound psychological effects on those who perform them. He contends that people have an intrinsic desire to be useful, and that doing work that feels meaningless can cause feelings of anger, resentment, and even despair. This is contrary to the common belief that people dislike work and would prefer to avoid it if possible. Graeber discusses the concept of moral injury, where individuals feel psychological pain because they're forced to act against their values. When people work in bullshit jobs, they often feel like they are wasting their lives or contributing to something harmful, which can lead to depression, anxiety, and a loss of self-esteem. Graeber shares the story of a worker who spent years in a pointless job and developed a sense of worthlessness. Despite being well compensated, the worker felt that their life was meaningless because their work contributed nothing to society. This sense of worthlessness is common among those in bullshit jobs, according to the responses that Graeber received. So, why do bullshit jobs exist? Graeber challenges the notion that the market naturally weeds out inefficiency and waste. Instead, he argues that the proliferation of bullshit jobs is a feature of contemporary capitalism, not a bug. He explores several reasons why jobs like this exist, including the expansion of managerial roles, the perpetuation of power structures, and ideological control. In the book, Graeber introduced the concept of managerial feudalism, where large bureaucratic organizations create jobs to justify the existence of higher-level managerial positions. These jobs are not necessarily productive or needed, but serve to maintain hierarchies and give the illusion of efficiency and productivity. Another reason that bullshit jobs persist is that they serve to maintain control and power within organizations and society. By keeping people busy with meaningless work, employers can prevent them from engaging in more subversive or revolutionary activities. This aligns with Graeber's broader critique of neoliberalism and its emphasis on control through work. Graeber also discusses how companies create elaborate chains of command and redundant layers of management to reinforce these power structures. This practice creates jobs that, while appearing necessary to maintain order, actually contribute little to productivity or organisational efficiency. Graeber argues that the existence of bullshit jobs is economically efficient and serves as a drain on society's resources. Rather than contributing to the economy in meaningful ways, these jobs often create layers of bureaucracy that slow down real economic progress. In traditional economic theory, labour is supposed to contribute to the production of goods and services. However, in a system that supports bullshit jobs, labour is wasted on unproductive tasks. This misuse of human potential is seen as a failure of modern capitalism to allow the allocation of resources efficiently. Graeber then discusses how the proliferation of bullshit jobs often goes hand in hand with cuts to essential services and public goods. For instance, while governments and corporations expand their administrative and managerial sectors, they simultaneously cut funding for healthcare, education, and other social services. This mismatch leads to a society where pointless work is prioritised over meaningful, necessary labour. Graeber critiques the growth of administrative roles in universities and hospitals, which he argues often do more to complicate and slow down essential work than to facilitate it. At the same time, essential workers like nurses, teachers, and sanitation workers are overburdened and underpaid. Graeber suggests that one of the ways to eliminate bullshit jobs and the associated misery is through the implementation of the universal basic income. This would allow people to choose work that is meaningful and socially beneficial, rather than being forced into jobs that exist merely to generate income or justify bureaucratic structures. Graeber argues that universal basic income would liberate people from the need to do and work meaningless jobs just to survive. Instead, they could focus on work that they find fulfilling and that contributes positively to society as a whole. This, he suggests, could lead to a renaissance in arts, culture, and community building activities. By removing the economic compulsion to work, society could refocus on creating and supporting jobs that actually provide real value, whether that value is cultural, social, or ecological. This shift would allow people to engage in work that aligns with their passions and interests, fostering a more vibrant and dynamic society. Graeber imagines a world where people are free to pursue careers as artists, caregivers, or community organisers without the fear of financial insecurity. He argues that a society free from bullshit jobs would not only be more just, but also more innovative and creative. In conclusion, bullshit jobs a theory is a radical critique of contemporary employment and a powerful call to rethink the role of work in our lives. Graeber's exploration of the phenomenon of bullshit jobs challenges the assumption that all work is inherently valuable or necessary. Instead, he shows how much of what we do in the name of employment is not only unproductive, but actively harmful both to individuals and society as a whole. For those interested in political theory, economics, and social critique, Graeber's book provides a thought-provoking analysis of how modern capitalism creates and sustains pointless work. It encourages readers to question the value and purpose of their own labour and to imagine a future where work is aligned with genuine human needs and aspirations. Whether you are a seasoned critic of capitalism or new to these ideas, Bullshit Jobs offers a compelling argument for why we must rethink work in the 21st century. We've been the Left Library, and this has been Political Theory Simplified. If you have enjoyed this overview, we encourage you to read Bullshit Jobs a Theory by David Graeber to better understand the dynamics of modern employment and the possibility of a world beyond pointless work. Thank you for watching, and let's continue to learn and to grow together.